Hi guys, it's Melissa from the Melmar Group, and if you want to see my bread machine recipe, stay tuned. Okay, so I've gone through a love and hate thing with bread machines. My husband bought me one years ago, never thought I would use it. Somehow I got hooked up with one again. Actually, I got a deal on one at the thrift store and decided to try it, and I love it. So I wanted to make a bread recipe that I could serve with dinner, put in the morning, and have a nice fresh loaf for dinner time, or for snacking or whatever. And so I've tested a couple recipes, and this has been our favorite so far. So let me show you how I make it. Okay, first you're going to add a cup of water. It needs to be about 115 degrees. Think of it as the temperature you'd want if you were giving a baby a bath. Not too hot, not too cold. Then you add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And 2 teaspoons of yeast. And a tip for you, you can get yeast the cheapest at Costco, at least what I've found. They have a big thing, and I think it's like $3 or $4. Okay, so it's going to look like this. You're just going to mix that up, just lightly. Swirl it around if you want, whatever you want to do. And you're going to let that sit for 10 minutes while you gather your other ingredients. Alright, the next step is you're going to add a 1/4 cup of oil. Just like vegetable oil, doesn't have to be anything fancy. A teaspoon of salt. Actually, I do a teaspoon and a half. We found just a little extra helps, so I do a teaspoon and a half. And then you add 3 cups of flour. You can use whatever flour you want. I've only done it with white all-purpose. I'm sure you could use bread flour. I'm not sure if the ratio is the same if you're using like almond flour or something, but if you're using that, you probably would know. And then you can just have it go like this, but I like to flavor it sometimes, so I'm adding Italian seasoning, probably about tablespoon. Powder. You can also add fresh garlic if you want. It comes like in the jar. So I'm adding about a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. Okay, and you're just layering everything in your container, and I find for the bread machine it's easiest to just do it in here, then I don't have another bowl to wash. Okay, so for my machine I just set it on basic cycle and I put it on light for the color, sets it for 3 hours, and then I just hit start. Okay, you'll notice it's not getting all of the flour on the sides, so I just use a knife and scrape that down. Okay, so I've scraped it down and it's still struggling to collect the sides, so sometimes you need to add a little bit more water. So I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of water to help out. Sometimes you have to add more water, sometimes you don't. You just have to play with the recipe. That also just depends on the day and the humidity where you are. Okay, so you can see that that's collecting better. I'd still like it to do just a little more, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. If it's too wet, if you've added too much water, just add a little bit of flour in. Okay, so now it's collecting everything on the sides, and I'm just going to let the bread machine do the rest of the work for me. Here's the bread when it's all finished, and you'll just want to let it sit for about 15 to 30 minutes, and then you can slice it, and it's great on its own.
with butter, or we had it for sandwiches today, and it was really good with that too.
Can't eat it right away. So let it sit for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes before you slice it, and it should hold together better. If you like these kind of videos, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know. If you have a favorite bread machine recipe, I'd love to know that too. I'm looking for sweet breads specifically, like a cinnamon bread, applesauce bread, banana bread, something like that, zucchini bread. Those would be great to know. And if you have any other ways that you use your bread machine and love it, I would love to know that too. If you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below so you'll always know when I have a new video. And until next time, make it a great day. Thanks. Bye.